What's up, guys? My name is Opto Music, and this is our first episode of our producer discussion panel by Rapzilla. And now I'm going to pass the mic on to our participants and producers in this panel. So let's get it rolling.
Hey everybody, how are y'all? My name is DaraJT. I'm a producer, audio engineer, originally from Nigeria, currently living in Dallas, Texas.
Yo, what's going down, everybody? It's Boskie Beats, 22, in Atlanta, Georgia. Just a young Christian trying to get in this music career. You know how it go.
My name is Blaine Stephens. I'm from Silsbee, Texas. Primarily a sample maker. And yeah.
What's up? It's Avila. You can find me at Who is Avila. I'm a producer, engineer, artist, a little bit of everything, and just trying to keep up with all these people that be coming and going from this whole scene. And so, definitely an honor and a privilege to be even a part of this podcast, a part of this segment, to be even an influence in this space. And so definitely an honor and a privilege.
Awesome.
Amen, bro.
Man, thank you.
Good.
I appreciate y'all, tuning in. So everybody, these are dope producers. They're part of the article series of underrated producers that are written about fire producers. I've connected with them, and it's just dope seeing them and talking to them right now. And I have a couple questions for y'all, just like a discussion, be as open as you'd like to, and then you can bounce off ideas off each other, and we can go from there. So my first question would be, everybody produces, everybody has a different style of producing. They have a different process, the way they approach a beat, the way they approach a project. So what does the process of producing look like for y'all?
That's a good question. I ain't gonna cap. I think for me, I guess I'll go first. I think for me, man, it kind of really depends. It depends on on what I'm doing. A really big thing for me is a feeling. If the beat doesn't move me in a way, I'm really quick to kind of start another one. So I think the big part of my process is really just going through feelings and how I'm feeling, evaluating how I feel throughout the day, kind of fill out what I like to make, what I'm saying, how I'm feeling, and then I kind of just go from there and just blast off from there. So I run heavy off inspiration.
For me, I love to start with melodies and chords. And also, the most important thing for me is when I hear the quality of that sound or that instrument. Because once I hear it, it's I'm able to come up with chord ideas so that I'll be able to lay the melody down and then go crazy with the drums after, so I can get the bounce that I need to bring out the vision of that track as well too. And it's just a blessing just to create and just let it flow, because for me, anytime I cooking up, I just let it flow. I don't overthink it. I don't second guess it. Just let it flow, and boom, it just comes out the way I hear it.
For me, I consider myself more like a curator than as more my production style. I really like collaborating, whether it's getting a sample starter from somebody and messing with that. And I'm the opposite. I kind of like overthinking because I'm really heavy on sound design. So sometimes I can spend 4 hours on a sample, just seeing where I can take it. And that's why I make a lot of sections on my samples and stuff like that. And then, for sure, I really like references. When people send me references of older songs, whether it's from the 60s or 70s or it's a really weird song, just taking inspiration from that and then making something completely new out of it. That's really fun to me. So
I'm all over the place. So I know most people usually have ideas in their head before they kind of go in. I usually go with a blank slate, kind of super open. I'll start with kind of like Dara. I'll start with melodies. Kind of just start with some simple chords. Sometimes I'll stack up like 4 or 5 um, different sounds doing the same thing, and then I'll bounce it, and then like kind of like Blaine, kind of just make my own sample with it to make my own sound, and kind of just like play with the sound design. And then as far as drums, like sometimes I'll start with drums too. Like I'll just make weird drum patterns, try to make something different as far as like a different kick pattern, a different snare like, I mean, there's only so much you can do with the snare, but it's like finding different ways to make the snare sound like oh shoot, like this got a different bounce, or like using different sounds for like the actual instruments. So like on my own terms, when it's my own time, I'm experimenting, making weird stuff. But obviously, like when it comes to working with artists, then it's like, all right, let's make a super simple melody and get to the drums as quick as possible, because that's really what everybody wants. Or already have pre-made drum loops that you made, and then just like kind of load those into like a sample as soon as you like find something dope. But that's usually my process for sure.
That's awesome. I love how all of y'all have like kind of like a different process, like a different approach, but the end result is pretty much the same, and that's a really wonderful thing, especially when it comes to art and like creativity. That's really like astounds people, and especially artists. As a producer, sometimes artists are not familiar with what the producer does behind the scenes, but after having this discussion and talking about it, I hope like people have a better appreciation for production side of things and sample making and beat making and all that stuff. So that's dope. So my second question is kind of like away from the creative side, is what is your stance on crediting producers? So there's been a lot of conversation, a lot of discussion, a lot of debate regarding this topic, especially between artists and producers. But what is your stance on crediting producers?
Bro, I think we should get our credit, bro. Like that, people don't like kind of like what you said. Like people don't understand like the actual science and the like the skill and the gift that it takes to like be able to do what we do, and do it not just at a subpar level, but do it at a really like elite level. It takes a lot of time, a lot of, you know what I'm saying, like a lot. So I think we should get our credits. I think that should be something that should be pushed. I think that it's a big thing, and I think it should be like it should be handled, not particularly said like credit is what we want, like what we desire, validation not what we desire, but like there comes a point where it's like there should be some type of respect.
How should an artist go about crediting? Like, you want your tag in? Do you want like Spotify credits? Do you want like on Instagram? Like how would you like to be credited? Like,
I think that depending on the art, depending on how the producer likes to brand his or herself, I think within there's variety. But personally for me, I'm real big on just like whenever you post a song, tagging, you know what I'm saying? Tagging, produced by, you know what I'm saying? I don't particularly really care about it being in like the graphics, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case is. But when it comes down to Instagram posts or anything like that, I definitely, you know, I would love my flowers.
I would definitely say yes. Give producers their credit, because look, teamwork makes the dream work. You know what I mean? So there'll be a producer will take all of us as producers. We already have our 10,000 hours now. We since the beginning, even practicing our scales, practicing our sound design. You know what I mean? Practicing everything so that it can be sharpened and honed to a whole elite level, like Jay Boskie said. And literally, and it's like a tag, an Instagram tag that is a good one, saying produced by, and then also the Spotify credits. You always got to give your producers your Spotify credits, because look, it gives them more opportunities. It opens more doors for them. Every time I see some credits like on songs on Spotify and I look at the credits and they're like produced by, I don't see the name. I'm like, come on, where is the producer? So definitely give producers their credit, literally. because it's going to open more opportunities for other artists to work with them as well too.
I definitely agree with that. Like, credits is something I kind of stress about, like if they don't get taken care of. At the same time, artists are, especially if they're dropping an album, they got so many producers on their tracks. They're so busy, but really got to like stay sharp on that, you know, as an artist. I understand, like, you know, but that's really like how we get to our next steps in our careers. You know what I'm saying? And like, tag, I mean, really that's up to you. But like, yeah, just that credit goes a long way. And sometimes I have to, like, there's been times where I wasn't given credit and I just had to trust God. He's gonna get me to the next spot where I needed to be, because that's something I can't control. You know what I'm saying? I can't get into the artist account and log in for them and put my credit on there. You know, that's a respect thing that they got to put up with, you know. But now if you got like a non-disclosure agreement, you get paid more, that'd be cool too. So I'd be down to not have credit for that. But you know
what sucks about being in the Christian world of things, because like we're all obviously, I believe we're all Christians, right? Like we all love Jesus.
Yes,
we all believe in the Holy
Mhm.
Spirit. We all accepted him as their savior. So
Yes, God. Yes, God.
so okay, right? Okay, I'm not trying to take you out of church, but this is what I feel like. I'm gonna answer the question, but as far as credits, first of all, a properly ran business is going to, one, pay and credit. Looking at this outside of like, well, as a believer, I really need to just like trust God that like he's gonna, like, yes, that's great, but like also don't get ran over. Like don't be taken advantage of. Like we as producers are talented. We as producers, like they need us as much as we need them for credits. Also, to be honest, we really don't need them. We can do whatever we do, and making our own platform, especially just with like the internet and just all of this and whatnot. So it's like, and so it's a matter of taking control of what you can. As far as like the artist not crediting you, you can control that by being like, hey bro, I want my credit. Like the payment wasn't even that great up front, and you're not even paying me on the back end, so at least credit me. Like give me my credits. Like if not, then I just don't want to work with you anymore, because that's not cool. It's not even like, it is a respect thing for sure, but at the same time also maybe on the front end you just have like your own agreements where it's like, hey look, y'all want to work with me, like I'm grateful for the opportunity that y'all went through the sample packs and decided to choose one of mine, but here is my thing. Like y'all want to work with me as my business and my brand, this is what I expect. I expect to be credited on like on the back end things. So like if y'all decide to go on Genius and put up lyrics produced by, you know, whatever, if y'all decide to upload this on Spotify, iTunes, all that, right, which most platforms are, then I expect to be credited as a producer or writer or whatever you're doing. Sometimes if we don't speak up and like announce what it is that we want or need, like no one's gonna look out for you. And so it's just like you have to look out for yourself as that producer and as an artist, as a brand, as a company, and literally be like, okay, what is it that I value? What do I want them to value other than my talent? Like I want them to value my time, and I want them to value like my name. So it's like put some respect on my name. Because you yourself can be like, oh yeah, I produced for Lecrae, I've produced for whoever, and it's like they'll be like, oh cool, but like did they shout you out? And it's like the I can't even say the word. Yes, yeah, that word.
Yeah.
The validity. I feel illiterate, but that it, unfortunately, the weight of it is only like, there's only weight if like the actual person is saying it versus like you, like unless you built your own brand to the point where it's like, yeah, you really don't need those names. Like, but to answer the question, yes, credit your freaking producers.
Preach.
I
Nah, for
definitely
real.
agree with that. Like, I guess like in the context I was speaking is like, I've seen people like burn bridges because of how direct and aggressive they were talking to that artist about getting their credits. Like for me, most people, I hit them one time and it's like real professional. Like, hey man, just reaching out, making sure you get my credits. They normally fix it like right after that. But then there's definitely been people who haven't credited me at all, and I just stopped working with them completely. Like you said, I just stopped working with them.
Especially like I feel like in the mainstream side of things, I feel like they do a pretty good job at like crediting producers. Because whenever I go on, like if I hear a mainstream song or just popular on the radio or something, I don't click on Spotify credits, I see the producer name. I'm like, oh, this person produced it. Like, whereas in CHH it's kind of different because like it's all blank. Like the
for real,
it's weird. But the one thing I actually loved, especially with the new Halvey album, I was like, I heard the song and I was like, yo, this sounds like a Blaine type of sample. This sounds like something Blaine would do. I checked it, I was like, oh my man, Blaine got on this.
That's crazy, bro.
It was fire, bro. Because every time I listen to a song, especially every Friday I sit down and I listen to the CH8 songs. I'm looking for the credits. So I hear the song, I'm like, I like the song, but I want to see who produced this so I can reach out and connect with them. Because I feel like producers missed out on opportunities because they're not credited.
The process in crediting your producers on DistroKid is not even hard at all. It's a very simple process. A lot of people skip that process, like even intentionally or unintentionally. So artists, on behalf of all the producers, please fill out the producer
split sheets. It's so easy.
So easy. Yeah.
They send me a code every time I get the email. Just you know my email. Stop playing with me.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, also, I do want to also defend the artist as well, because like even though I just went on this whole rant, but defending also because, or I don't even know if it's defending or just like it's more or less of an organizational skill, because I've been behind the scenes in the process of when artists are picking through beats, like labeled artists are picking through beats, and some of the times they literally don't know who produced it. Their A&Rs are the ones who are sending in the beats, and it's just a folder of beats, and they're like, oh yeah, let's use this one. Do you know who produced that one? Nope. It's like, oh, well, we got to go figure that out. And so sometimes they literally don't know who produces it. So it's like, I don't know if I should have said that, but like,
no, it's true though.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
Producers should do a better job at labeling their
just
putting their tag.
I was about to say that, like,
or if they have a tag, leave the dang tag in the beat. If you don't even know who produced it, at least leave the tag in.
Leave the tag,
Unless the tag's annoying and not good, then it's like
purchase your track today.
Purchase your tracks today.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Yo.
Oh, bro, but that's amazing to see. Like, I feel like all our kind of things lined up, all our like our stances kind of lined up, but we also see like the artist side of things and producers needing to like step up their game and branding their beats. Like for real, like sometimes producers just be getting lazy and be like, because like some people like they lose like their confidence and just send out beats, but that beat gets picked up, and then later on they regret not like putting their name or something on it, right? And that's kind of like a loss for the producer itself. So the next thing I want to talk about is I want if you guys could give like an example or like a bad experience or a struggle you guys had as a producer and what you learned from it. You know?
Okay, I got one. So I was actually trying to cook up a beat for the same artist, but at a different time. And like, I was like still kind of in this mode. It wasn't the same artist, totally different artist. And I was kind of in this mode where like, I was still trying to learn FL. So like, I was like struggling to keep up and like keep things pushing. And like back then I had a really bad computer as well. So my exporting time was trash. And like, those are one of those things that really like slowed the session down. So a big thing that I learned from even that thing is like, one, if you are whatever DAW you use in whatever space realm of whatever program you use to make beats, bro, learn the shortcuts, learn your program, learn your DAWs. Because those are gonna be the time you put in with the little things are gonna show when it's game time, when it's time for you to make beats, when it's time for you to, you know, when you're in that session with this big time artist and they're rapping as you're making the beat. They're thinking of bars as you're making the beat, and you gotta be on go. So that was a really big thing that like kind of really propelled me to, I believe, that next level was like starting to learn the shortcuts, starting to learn those things, starting to get a better computer, like invest, getting better computers so that I'm able to, one, export better, and then two, get better at what I do, and that's making beats efficiently and quickly.
That's a gem, bro.
I'll say I don't see them as bad experiences, but I see them as learning lessons for me as a producer. Like literally back then, like years ago, even when I was attending Musicians Institute, like literally one thing that I would say is this: as a producer, one thing I've learned is to always stay focused and time conscious, because I've seen so many situations. I've also been in situations where, like, oh wait, it was my fault for not being time conscious because I was busy with doing one thing, busy doing something, but the artist wanted to be of that time exactly. You know what I mean? Like, always producers being time conscious would definitely help us producers like be more professional, especially being more respectful with the artist's time, because I've learned that and it's helped me to this day right now too, literally.
For me, I don't know about y'all, but like starting out producing, like, I've been producing for a while now. And like when you're starting out, bro, there's some things that just like they just break your heart, bro. Like you just get broken. And like you need it though. Like you definitely need that. So there's this one time, I don't know if y'all know No Excuse, but me and him traveled from Houston down to McAllen. This is the first time I went to go see 350 and A3 in person. And so at that time I've been making beats. And I just hadn't been having a crazy response with my beats and stuff. Like, no, I wasn't getting any placements. I had a monthly list. I was sending out all the time. I was networking, but like just stuff wasn't working out. And I get down there and I had made them like a custom beat pack, right? So it's like 6 beats. And we sit down, and I don't know if y'all know them, but 350 is like mad honest. He's super honest. And we were sitting there and he's like, man, I don't know. I was like, what you mean you don't know? And he's like, I don't know, man. There's just like, there's always some weird sounds in here. I don't know. I'm not feeling it. And he wasn't real mean about it. He was just honest. He was like, but bro, like your melodies are crazy. Like your samples are crazy. And like, maybe you should dig into that. And so I start showing them my samples and stuff, and they're going crazy. They love them. They want to, and they ended up working on another song instead of working with me, which they ended up making Down from the H, which was super, super cool moment where like I had to humble myself, and then God used that moment to let them shine, which was beautiful. But like, and then my homie Izzy, he was the one who like really helped me like, hey, stick on this sample journey. And now it's been like 9 months, and like God's already opened so many doors with that. Just like, don't be afraid to like start over, reinvent yourself. Don't be afraid to be humble, because like, yeah, it broke my heart and I was mad embarrassed, but like now like we're all homies, like we're all growing, and God's just doing crazy things.
Man, it's crazy. I've had a lot of great experiences. I've had a lot of terrible experiences. So I've been doing music for like 10 years. So like started when I was 15. So it's like really like really been through a lot, like being 15 years old and trying to do, everything, because I was recording people in high school, also making my own beats. Wasn't making beats for anybody like that yet. And then I was like rapping, doing my own stuff. But when I was like 18, 19 is when I started producing for other people. Not a whole lot, but kind of. But I got like my first pretty big placement in like 2017. I sent beats over to this dude. He was like a homie, right? Somebody I knew. Somebody I knew.
I felt that.
Somebody that I knew that was like cool, and like he had some buzz, and it was just like, all right, bet, like let's work. And I ended up working on some beats with like another producer. And this actually really breaks my heart. Cause it was like, I was in this dude's home, like his family loved me. We like enjoyed dinner together and like made like 3 or 4 beats. And then, ended up sending some of the beats out. One of them got picked, and it was the one that me and homie collaborated on. And when me and homie collaborated on them, we never talked on like how much we would charge. We never talked about like any of that. And so this was like a learning step for me, right? Because after this, I learned my lesson. But when he accepted the beat, when the artist accepted it, he was like, yo, this is fire. Yeah, I'm gonna put this on my, on my project or whatever. I was like, all right, bet, sounds good. Make sure to credit, me and so-and-so. So he's like, all right, bet, for sure. And then like 3, 4, 5 months later, I don't hear anything from the artist. But then I reach out to the producer, letting him know, hey bro, just to let you know, so-and-so decided to pick up on the beat. Don't know when the tape is dropping, but just be on the lookout for that, whatever. And then the producer didn't respond to me. So now I'm like, okay, why isn't anybody responding to me? So now I'm like reaching out to both of them. The artist, I'm reaching out to the producer. Yo, what's good? Like, yo, hope you guys are doing good. What's up? Blah, 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 whatever. So like a few more months pass by. I get a Instagram notification. You've been tagged in a picture. So I'm like, oh, okay, what's up? Look at the picture. It's the track listing. And I was like, okay, I'm tagged in it. He's tagged in it. But like, we didn't even talk about payment. We ain't talk about none of that. And so then, but the tape was dropping like the next day. Then all of a sudden the producer reached out to me, the other producer. And I was like, bro, what the freak? Like, I've been trying to reach out to you for the last year, bro. Like, where you been at? Yo, you didn't talk to me about this. You didn't talk to me about this.
Oh no.
Blah, 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 blah. And gave me like a hard time about it. And I'm just like, yo, I'm like, okay, take a chill pill. I'm like, let me connect you with the artist. You can reach out to him and y'all can talk this through. I'm like, or you can let me do it and just like chill, like relax, like whatever. I'm like, plus I've been trying to hit you up. And so long story short, like the artist cut me off and the producer cut me off. Like it was dead. Cut me off. I'm like, as if I did bad business. I'm like, bro, like y'all the ones who y'all didn't communicate with me. And so then after like a year or two, I reached back out to the artist trying to like reconcile some things. I've still tried to reach out to this producer just to let him know, like, bro, I wasn't trying to like be shady and curvy. Like, it was just like, it was a mistake. And it's like, but ever since that, I'm like, yo, I need to be like way more upfront and clear. Like, look, I'm sending you these beats. We'll talk about payment when it comes down to it, but there is payment involved. Unless I really rock with the person, then at that point, I have that conversation with the producer and I'm like, yo, you cool with this, bro? We're gonna get back in, but like, you cool? Like, we good? I actually did that with Dara, with our placement with Jude and Chris Soul for No Pain.
That's what's
yeah.
Up. That's what's up.
So like, literally, like, we're in the studio and I was like, I literally hit up Dara. I was like, hey, bro, I showed him the beat. They liked it. Like, you cool with like doing some back end stuff, like getting splits? He's like, oh yeah, for sure, let's do it. I was like, bet. I'm like, I'm not trying to burn any bridges on accident.
Easy, bro.
Like,
easy.
So that was a pretty bad experience, very, very traumatizing experience for me, because I hate like when bridges burn and it's like out of like I didn't intentionally do something to hurt you. And like, and if I did, like, let's get clarity on it. Like, my whole thing is like, let's just get clarity on it, bro. Let's squash the beef. I hate beef. I hate having beef with people.
That's crazy. Like, like having these bad experiences and these struggles as a music producer, and like a lot of like kind of like a main topic around this would be like learning, making sure that you don't get discouraged by these experiences and using that as an opportunity to improve yourself, even if it's not your fault. 100%. Just using that, finding the right people, and like not everybody's on your side, or like not everybody's gonna come out and support you maybe, but that should not stop you from pushing forward to what God has called you to do and called you to be.
Can I say something before we move on to the next thing?
Yeah.
I was just I was listening to all you guys and like how this conversation has gone about. It made me think about it. Like, man, like we have as creatives, and this goes for producers, artists, anybody who's chasing after something, man, we have to get in this perspective that every no is an opportunity. Like, every no is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for us to either push and go harder, or it's an opportunity for us to kind of take a step back and figure out what's going on. I think a lot of times, like we think rejection is the end, and for a lot of times, rejection is the beginning of something. It may not be the thing that you were trying to go after, but it's the beginning of something. So, yeah, I just thought about that, like, and that's even for me. Like, I got recently, I got rejected by a really big artist who, like, I loved, and he was like, bro, yeah, this beat is not it. Like, I don't know what you got going. And like, I had to like take a step back, because I was like, dang, I just got, is this rejection? Like, what the heck? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like the thing that I'm seeing is that I use that as a catalyst to be like, okay, like, it's okay. Like, the rejection isn't the end. The rejection is an opportunity. It's a door. It's just another door for an opportunity to figure out what are you going to do? Like, how are you going to choose to do? Are you going to choose to go after it? Are you going to continue to, because at the end of the day too, like, we're Christians, so I gotta throw this in there, but like, we by what we do, we are not validated. Like, our validation should not come from what we do.
Facts.
Come from the places that we get. It should not come from the credits that we have, or how crazy we can make samples, how crazy we can make drums. It doesn't come from that. It comes from the Father. So as long as he has our heart, you know what I'm saying, and we are a son of his, so he already validated us. Amen. So we got to stop holding the artists and these A&Rs and these people at such a high pedestal in our hearts, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what they say. If God called you to something, he's going to provide you through it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, yeah, just kind of like bringing that into perspective, man, that the rejection isn't like the end. It's the beginning of something.
I definitely want to add to that, because that is one thing that I've learned in my life is like, wow, as a producer, is like, I know where the source is from. One thing I've learned is that God is the source of my creativity. You know what I mean? And I've seen him shine through so many times when it comes to the music. And it's like, when it happens, I'm quick to give him the glory. Last year, winning the Genius Home Studio Contest, literally, all I did was submit one beat. Literally, I was just having fun with it. And then a month later, Genius announces me on their story on Instagram saying, like, for people to vote for me. Everybody did, and I ended up winning the competition, the Genius Home Studio Contest. Literally,
let's go.
Even like, when Genius posted me on their Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, I had to make sure I said this: without God, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Literally, that was all God, not me. You know what I mean? I make sure, even people tell me this, Dara, you cold with it. Dara, you talented with it. I'm like, yep. God is the one, not me. I'm just putting it in the word.
Amen. Dara preaching, bro.
That's dope, bro.
Literally.
I'm gonna add just one more thing. And then, like, on rejection, to like keep it a buck, if you're getting a lot of rejection, you need to get you some homies that are better than you, and you need to send them your stuff and be like, yo, what's going on with this? I'm like, is it good? Is it bad? What's going on? Like, don't be afraid to get grilled. Like, sometimes you need it.
This like whole being a creative and being like a believer too is such a hard thing to navigate. Because we attach a lot of this stuff to our identity. If someone tells us we're not a good producer, we feel like, I'm a horrible person. I'm not fulfilling God's will for my life. And it's like, yo, like having the mindset and mentality of Dara, where it's like, yo, bro, like, I just, like, I'm a vessel. I get to get used for this. And like, I get to do stuff like this. This is a great time and experience. And I think we get to value everything a lot more. And I guess that's like the tip I've been on lately, where it's like, I want to value more of what I'm putting my work into. Like, I'm not trying to spend countless amounts of hours trying to be this super producer just for people to reject me and tell me this and that. Like, that's not what I'm trying to do. It's like, mainly I'm doing this because I love this. God gave me the ability and the creativity to do stuff like this. And it's like, he's given me the ability to and open doors for me to be in rooms with other people, right? And I'm saying this for me, but I'm saying this more or less for all of us as well. He's given us the opportunity to be in these rooms with other people and like to be able to connect and do more than just music. Music is just a tool. And it's like, even as creatives, like it's just a tool. It's not the end all be all.
That's facts, man. This was a pretty loaded question, I guess. But yeah, basically to wrap that question up, I would say like every experience, good or bad, is just a part of your story, a part of your testimony at the end of the day. So when you're telling the younger generation, you're telling the people who look up to you, or like telling non-believers about your journey, it's all part of it. And God uses that to give him all the glory, because through the good and the bad, he is present and he is out here, trying to let you lead by example. Okay, so my next question would be, speaking of like, as kind of like this ties into what Avila's experience was, what would an ideal artist and producer relationship look like?
I think a friendship, man. Like, that should be ideal. I'm not saying like you got to be best friends with everybody, because you don't got to be besties with everybody. Like, God puts certain people in your life to, to be your accountability partner. You're those things. But I think that there should be a friendship there. There should be, a relationship there, to the point where it's like, okay, like, like I ain't really got to walk on eggshells because I have a good idea of who you are. I know your character. I know, So I think the most important thing with that is like just having a friendship, being like, hey, like outside of music, kind of like DaraJT said, outside of music, how are you doing? How is life going? Like, is there anything I could pray for you about? And like keeping those things kind of at the forefront of the relationship.
An ideal artist producer relationship is like, anytime the artist needs anything and they know that you got them. And like anytime the artist is about to work on stuff, you already know that they're going to reach out to you, or you already even have something prepared for them. So it's like, literally, it's just balancing it out. And then them just rocking with you, you just rocking with them, music outside of music, being able to like kick it. And like if you're in person, and then having that like super clear communication, like what Boskie, what you were saying, like, if you got to walk on eggshells with like, yo, hey man, I'm like, if you're not really feeling the record and you're like, hey, like, dang, should I reach out to them and let them know like I'm not feeling the verses, or I'm not feeling the hook or whatever? And it's like, but I don't want to mess up the relationship. It's like, if you're already there, then it's like, just work with them from a distance, do whatever you got to do. But it's like, ideally, the best scenario is we're making heat, you like it, I like it, and then it's like, let's just put it out because this is what we love and we're doing it. And like, yeah. And then knowing that like that they're going to take care of you, and like you're going to take care of them. It's like, if you take care of them, they're going to take care of you. And knowing that's the ideal relationship.
Yeah, for me, like, so it's just like, it has to feel natural, first off. Honesty, there has to be honesty no matter what. Like, there just has to be honesty. There can't be hiding stuff from each other. There's like, it's got to be real. And then I know this from personal experiences. If your homie is a bad business person, that is going to spill over into your friendship, whether you like it or not. That's going to happen.
Sheesh.
And you really have to be able to be like, all right, bro, either we're not doing business together anymore, or we're not friends. And I'd rather let's just not do business together anymore. You know what I'm saying? But luckily, like most of my friends, like, they're good business people. So it's not that like our friendship is based on business. It's just that we both do business. We're both friends. Those are going to overlap at times, and we got to make sure that we have that under control, and it's good.
One thing I've learned is this: like, an ideal artist and producer relationship is when both of them support each other, but also are there for one another through the good and the bad. Like, from my experience, there's an artist I've worked with for many years now. I've been on her project, even executive produced her debut EP last year. I've known her since 2016. like back in California, Musicians Institute, everything, and it's like I've been there, and that relationship already kept growing and growing. Now we're like practically family. It's like through the good and the bad. Like we're not even we would sometimes talk about music. Sometimes we just talk about life. You know what I mean? And I'll be there to just encourage her through it all. You know what I mean? Because that's what it's all about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like friendship outside of music is so important. Like,
Mhm.
so like 350 is like 350, A3, No Excuse. Those are my homies.
Mhm.
Bro, we barely work on music together. Like this whole time, we don't have 0 records together. Well, we have one, me and 250 do, like, but like our friendship has kept us all together, and like they connect me to other artists more than other people do. And it's like, and that's not like the basis of our friendship. Like we're homies, we love each other, but that's like, I don't know, it's just crazy how that works. Like we don't even work on music together, really. You know,
it's more than music.
It's a take.
Yeah, exactly.
Thing. When it comes down to a good relationship, the thing is like, you may not even play that perfect role for them, right? You might actually play a different role for this person, but like what Blaine just said, like, but they see that you're dope in this area. You may not be like necessarily fit for them, but they're able to connect you to the people that, I think probably work better for them. Like just knowing your role. Like for instance, literally with like Hovey, I know I'm a songwriter for Hovey. I know we can get in the studio and write a ton of records together. For Wande, I know I can produce some stuff for her. For Portia, I'm her engineer. I record her and we have great conversations, whatever. When it comes down to it, you try to like, it's like, hey, look, I also got beats for you too. It's like, I know I'm just a songwriter for you, but I do got beats too, or I do got records, maybe we could feature, blah, 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 whatever. Like when you get to that point of your relationship where you know you're straight, you can start sharing your actual stuff with them. Then it's like, dude, that's how you know you're golden. Because then at that point, it's like, bet I know I can call you when it comes to this type of record. I know I can hit you up when it comes to this kind of blah, 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 whatever. And so it's really just like, just keeping that going. And then like, that part is so important with like, that's how you know it's a good relationship, when they're not like trying to like hold you in and like not share you with anybody.
Exactly.
But they're like, nah, you know what? Actually, yo, like you need a producer. My homie Blaine over here makes crazy fire sample loops that would go crazy for your sound. Oh, you need some ballads? Bet I got you. Like over here. Oh, you need some crazy trap 808s and crazy sounds? Hit up my boy Jay Boskie. You need some island and like worlds and like anything you want type of stuff. Let's hit up Dara. Like, let's just, you know what I'm saying? It's like really,
yeah.
And that's how you know you straight. Cause like one, they're saying that like there's like depth to your relationship because they're able to actually like plug you in with other people. They see where you can fit now. There's depth to it.
I want to bring back the importance of knowing your role and like not letting your pride get in the way of your role.
Nah, that's real.
Do not let your pride get in the way of your role, because if you do that, you are going to really mess yourself up, and you're 100%. Honestly gonna set yourself back, man. I can't tell you how many opportunities I have had with people, like with artists and stuff like that, and I've gotten connected to people just by knowing my role and not trying to exceed my role, not trying to do everything, not trying to have 7 hats and saying, look at all my hats, but just sticking to what I do and what I know, and sticking to what they like and what they love, and then just letting that be it. Because at the end of the day, this is a service. So as long as you serve one person well, he's gonna go out and he's gonna tell if he a good person. Let's keep it up. But if he not tripping, you know what I'm saying? He gonna go out and he gonna tell everybody else.
That's true.
Who he knows. So like I just didn't want to go past like that point, is knowing your role and not letting your pride get in between that. Because as long as you stay down, you know your role, you stay down, keep doing what you're doing, God's gonna elevate you.
Yes.
But he can't elevate you when there's yeast in the loaf.
When Kanye was producing for Jay, like he just knew him as a producer.
Facts.
So it's like, and then all of a sudden he found the right time after building that relationship. He's like, let me show you this other record I got. And then it's like, boom.
I love how like everyone has like basically like the entire thing is like making sure you both, the artist and producer, are not just in it for the business. I mean, there are relationships where you have that, just strictly business, but then there are other times where it's more than music, as Blaine said, like it's more like, and Dara says, like checking up on each other, like out of the music side, you know, or like referring yourself, not like being selfish and greedy and keeping that producer or artist to yourself, but referring them and giving them opportunities for them to shine. So this question would be, what are some tips you guys have for artists connecting with producers and vice versa, producers connecting with artists?
How artists can connect with producers is that one, what they have on Instagram hashtag producers. You're going to see a lot of producers. Or for example, there's a hashtag that I use on my Instagram, like Dallas Producers. A lot of people have found me through that hashtag, Dallas Producers, literally, just for the 90-day beat challenge. The power, don't underestimate the power of hashtags. You know what I mean? And it's like, even though it might sound like, okay, but it's very, very powerful because hashtags can be used in so many powerful ways. And that's how people can connect with each other. For me as a producer, I'll just write a hashtag unsigned artist. You know what I mean? Hashtag singer, hashtag songwriters, hashtag female producers, hashtag producers. You know what I mean? Hashtags hip hop, like so many. So you can find so many people just like that. And to also piggyback what Jay Boskie said, I'm gonna say this as well too. Also connecting people, the people that I know that can connect them with other producers as well too. Like for me, one thing I'm good at is like as a producer, like you said, knowing your role. First as a producer, well, secondly, connecting people like an A&R. Low key, people think I'm a low key A&R. I just love connecting people. Literally, I will connect everybody.
So artists, producers, I'd say a big thing that like I've gotten hung up on is artists not knowing what they want. Like they don't know the lingo. Like, you know, whether it's like, hey, them hats are too loud, or like sometimes they'll just be like, something's off, and I'm like, I don't know how to fix that. You know, like just knowing.
Yes,
and
that makes me so upset.
Yeah, and it's like, man, it's cool. Just like you just gotta do your due diligence and just learn about sounds. You know what I'm saying? Like the artist and the producer come together to make 100% of the song. There's 50-50 involved. Like both parties need to know a little bit about each other's space, you know.
Yeah.
True.
That's good. That's good.
From producer to artist, I would say like from a smaller producer reaching to a bigger artist, don't be desperate. Like they'll see right through that. Be a fan, but don't act like a fan.
Say it again, please. Say it again.
Be a fan, but don't act like a fan. And then I would say you really just got to be chill, man. Like you really just got to be chill. Like if you're really stressful, they're not going to want to work with you. And then lastly, be consistent. I learned this from my homie Prim. I don't know if you know Prim producer.
That's my freaking boy.
He's the man, bro. He taught me like consistency is key, bro. Keep sending beats. Like even if they don't reply, send them every month. They're listening to them. They're downloading them. They're just not hitting you back. I've had people hit me back 6 months later. They didn't hit me back at all. So discouraged. I'm like, dang, bro, what's going on? 6 months later, they hit me back. Hey, here's my number. We got one. Let's lock in. Okay, bet. I didn't see that coming. Just keep sending, bro.
Consistency in content is king, bro. If you aren't consistent and if you aren't posting content, you're missing it. You're missing it. Like you are genuinely missing it. And I'm not to bash anybody, but like if we want to be like, if we want to be real, like as much as we post is how much return we'll get. So if we're not posting a lot of stuff, if we're not networking, if we're not doing those things, if we're not reaching artists, if we're not taking those steps, then you can't be upset when you're not selling beats. You can't be upset when when artists aren't hitting you back. Like consistency and content is where we as producer community have to live. I'm learning now is the fact, like I want to say the realization that once you hit your dream, that's not it. Like,
That's
I think
good.
a lot of times we get, and I'm this is me, like this is me speaking from Jay Boskie. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm always thinking I thought to myself, you know, once I hit this much followers, once I get this much influence, once I get this, and this, I'm gonna be good. I ain't gotta, you know, shit, I ain't gotta stress no more. But like, it's the realization that like, that's not gonna end. Once you get to that thing, you gotta now worry about keeping that thing and how you're gonna elevate that thing. So like, kind of like this is what it says in the Bible, man. Like, don't despise small beginnings and don't take that stuff for granted. Like, while you have those 2 people in your life, what are you doing with them? Are you interacting? Are you, you know, keeping up with them? Are you talking to them? Are you with those 5 comments? What are you doing? Are you reaching out? Are you posting consistently? Like, using the tools that you have in your hands right now. Stop worrying about what you are going to achieve, what you are going to get. Work with what you have in your hands right now, and then through that, those are going to be things that help you, because you can't build a bridge with a shovel.
Again, as Boskie said, like consistency and content, though those really help you stand out. And when an artist tries to scroll through the hashtags again, they see this content and be like, oh, this guy's fire, or like, oh, like this is something I can work with, and that's how it all just generates, right? So that's dope. And again, to what Blaine said, be a fan, but don't act like a fan. I really like that. Artists can sense that. What are some tips you guys got for young producers trying to come up in CHH?
I think a big one is understanding that people are people, whether we're believers or not. Because I think people can meet their favorite artist and might not even like them as a person and kind of get crushed. So it's like just being super open. Being open, I think also like all the expectations that you have, throw it out the window, because to be honest, like that track that you think is a hit might not be a hit. That track that you think is a dud might be the hit. So it's
facts.
So it's honestly a matter of just like, man, just one, believing in yourself. So it's like, if I'm talking to somebody who just started making music, it's like, look, bro, believe in yourself. Really like own in on your own craft. Don't try to make stuff for other people to like. Make it for you to like first. And then like to just teach yourself. You have so many different resources around you. Like, get on YouTube, learn how to like make your 808 slap, learn how to make your kicks punch, learn how to make that snare pierce through your freaking speakers, learn how to like just how to structure your songs properly,
learn shortcuts.
Right. And then like learn your shortcuts, learn your DAW. And then it's like, once you get to that point, it's like, okay, bet, now you can start. And then work with your friends, work with people who are around you, work with the people you already know, build a network with who you already know, right? Going back to the whole like working with what you got type of thing, work with who you know already. Like, I'm guarantee you, if a high school kid is watching this right now, it's like, I want to get into it. It's like, bro, work with your friends, dog. I guarantee you have kids at lunch who rap or kids at school who rap during lunch. It's like, go up to one of them. Hey, bro, I got some beats. Like, let's work. And like, you can build that next artist. And then when that artist is put on, it's like, yo, who's your producer? And it's like, oh, shoot, I'm trying to work with your producer. And it's like, you built your own brand. You built your own thing without having to rely on these fickle people, or not fickle, but just like with people you don't understand it, or people who don't know you, people you don't know. And it's like your expectation of like, of this whole, like, I'm going to make these beats for Drake. I'm going to make these beats for Lil Baby. I'm going to make these beats for Baby Keem. And it's like, bro, come on. Like, it could happen. But you know how many people are sending them beats And it's like, you don't even have a name for yourself. You don't even aren't even fully confident in your work. And it's like, how about this? Start first with these people that you know, start with your friends, work on this thing, build this up. That way, when you get to a point where it's like, I've built this up to a point where now I can literally say I have like ground, right? Like I've put this seed in, and here's my fruit. Here's the fruit of my labor. And then it's like, boom, now you work with other artists. Boom, you're raising up these people.
I definitely agree, man. I think that outside of everything that we said, it's just like we have to be willing to work. I can't tell you the countless nights, the countless weekends I've literally sat in my room making beats while like I didn't go to homecoming one year. I literally made beats the night of homecoming, just working, because like I knew that in order for me to be the best in the gym, I had to stay in the gym, you know? So I think work ethic is a big thing. If you want it to be a hobby, let it be a hobby. But if you want this to be your career, then if you want it, you're gonna make it be that. I can't tell you how many times like I've been blessed, and I've been blessed just because like people are like, man, your beats go hard, your beats go stupid, but your work ethic is ridiculous. And they're like, because of that, I want to work with you, because like they know that like I'm not, if they send back a message and they're like, yo, this is not it, I'm going to reply back, how can I help this? How can I help you? How can I make this better? You got to get in this mindset where it's just like, I'm not going to say I can't do it. I'm not going to say that I can't. Just continue to hit your head against that door until they like, okay, this is fire. Because that's going to help. That's going to help you in the long run more than you even know. And I think another thing too is that at the end of the day, because your work is worship. And I think a lot of times we kind of get in this place where we're real like music heavy and we're real like business heavy, and that's not bad. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's not bad. But at the same time, you have to remember where your why lies. If you don't know where your why lies, then you'll be swayed by everything. Like I tell everybody, like if you don't have a why for why you do something, don't do it. If you don't have a why to continue when everyone else is telling you stop doing this, then you might have to rethink why you do it.
You go ahead, Blaine.
Yeah, so I'd say like, especially for youngins, bro, I feel like there's levels to the production game. There's people that have been doing it for 2 years and people that have been doing it for 8 years and they're at the same level. At all times, I feel like make sure you have a homie who is better at you and in a better place than you are. Like they're in a place that you want to be, you know, because as you start, because like right now I feel weird giving advice because I'm like, because last year I wasn't doing anything, you know what I'm saying? And now like finally some things are happening I'm really happy and excited about. But it's just weird like giving advice, but I've had people do the same for me, give me advice. So like the homie that's always, and that's not name dropping, but like anytime I have a question that's like, because there's so many unwritten rules to production, I feel like. And so like I always hit up Anthony Cruz. I'm like, hey bro, I don't know what's going on, can you please help me with this? Like please help me with this. And bro, like he's I still can't wrap my head around it. He's still like, hey bro, it's all good, do this and that, you're good. Have you a homie who's bigger than you, and it doesn't matter like if it's somebody our size, somebody super big, like whatever, just like have a mentor or just a homie that's better than you in certain arenas. Now for me, I have most of my friends are better than me, but they're better than me in different arenas, so I get to learn from all different subjects and stuff like that.
For up and coming producers who are getting started, first of all, we got to keep God first in this journey. You know what I mean? Because he's the only one that will show out and he will flex. You know what I mean? Show that yo, always remember who are you without the music. For me, I'm just DaraJT who loves God and loves people and wants to see other people succeed. And I mean, I'm a people person, literally. So literally, God first in everything. When
Yeah.
God has His hands in your music, watch how everything will blossom.
Mhm.
To the up and coming producers watching this, put God first. Second, learn your history of music production. A lot of people forget the history. Also, like learn about Timberland. Know what I mean? He inspired me with the bounce. Know what I mean? Kanye West inspired me with the soul samples. Know what I mean? The chop up the soul. Know what I mean? Jay Dilla with the swings. Know what I mean? So many people like and literally know the history. Know what I mean? Know the roots of it because it's so much fun when you learn the history of music production. The third one I'm gonna say is always don't network with the people around you. Don't always shoot for up. Like Avila said, work with the people around you. You know what I mean? Because you get to build your brand and also develop the artists with the people around you so that you can all come up together. As an upcoming producer, learn the business too. Be armed with the business because a lot of
Yes.
people
That'll protect
don't
you.
know. Yeah, you gotta know the business so that you can protect yourself, protect your creativity because your creativity is so valuable. Look, I'll say from this perspective, I'll say there's no such thing as a trash beat. Do you know why? This is a what God gave us right here. And guess what? Ideas. That beat was an idea. You know what I mean? And ideas
Mm-hmm.
are valuable. And then you're building that idea so that it can be completed. And guess what? You got to protect that idea so that nobody else can steal that idea. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Because it's part of your work. You know what I mean? It's valuable and it's what you came up with. So that's how you can definitely like learn the business so that you can protect your work. Also have your BMI, your ASCAP. You know what I mean? Have your distro kit set up.
That stuff
Have your
ready.
yeah. Have your PROs. Have your TuneCore. Have your song trust as well too. So that
Facts,
everything
facts.
and your agreement, so that everything will be
Mm-hmm.
in place. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
also, I also gotta say this as also right here producers always remember your name always have understand the value of a good name, understand the value of a good name because today in the music industry not a lot of people understand the value of a good name because a good name is much more valuable than silver or gold and it's much more valuable than the riches too. You know what I mean? And it's like when people mention your name as a producer, what did they say when you're not in the room? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
What did yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Because it's like this has kept in my journey. This has really kept me going as a producer because I've learned the value of a good name. One more thing, listen to the songs that your homies produced. That's the listen to the
Bro.
songs your homies produced. You'll be like, what? Because guess what? Your homies will inspire you. Your producer family will inspire you.
That's
Literally.
real.
Facts.
I want to add to this.
I'm gonna add two after you.
Don't be afraid to collaborate.
Facts.
Facts, facts.
Collaborate.
Facts.
Facts.
Collaborate.
Yep.
because those people, like, especially if you're an upcoming producer, it's like, dang, how do I get my name in? Collaborate. Just work with another producer. Send your
Mhm.
stuff to other producers.
Yep.
Work with them. They'll get you in the door. Half the placements you're probably gonna make at first are gonna be through collaboration.
Absolutely, bro.
That was for me. My first big placement was because of a collaboration, and it was my connect, but it was like collaboration. Then later, the Wande placement, my first Wande placement was through a collaboration. I didn't even know her. I knew people who knew her,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
we worked, and then she loved the record.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point where I was able to reach out to her and be like, yo, like, it's dope that we got to work, blah, 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 whatever. I didn't have any expectations, right? You got to take away that expectation. I wasn't expecting her to respond back, whatever. She ended up following me back. We ended up developing our own friendship and relationship to where now I could just send her stuff without needing to collaborate.
Hey, that's
So
dope.
now it's like, and then now we're
Yeah.
able to
That's the
now,
sauce.
Yeah, and then
That's
now
the
it's like
sauce.
you're able to get into the room with these artists because of that, and it's like, oh shoot, I didn't even notice I'd be here.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
do not be afraid to collaborate.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Being lonely is not fun in the long
It's
run.
not, bro. Who wants to
it's not.
celebrate by themselves, bro? That's whack.
It's
Like
not.
if I get a dub, bro, I'm trying to celebrate with the homies.
It hit me yesterday. I was like, wow. All my homies are in the Rapzilla article. And it's like, yo, I love it. You know what I mean?
Gang, gang.
That's why I love it.
Gang.
Yeah. I just like that's why I love to see the brotherhood. You know what I mean? The gathering, the coming together. You know what I mean? So that's what I love about it. Literally.
Nah, yeah, that's fire.
Mhm.
But I do not want to skip past what Dara said, bro.
Mhm.
Your character.
Mhm.
Like a lot of people do not highlight character.
Mhm.
Like
Facts.
if you are not willing to really let God mold your character
Mhm.
in the dark places, like
Woof.
if you are not willing to let God mold your character, because what he said was true, bro. Your character is going to sustain you.
In you, exactly.
And your character is not only going to sustain you, but it's going to put your name in rooms that you don't even think you belong in.
Mhm.
But it's because of your character
Mhm.
and what you do. So like I just didn't want to speed past that because I was fired. like that is what we need.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times people, like, especially for me when I got in it, I thought, you know what I'm saying, I got hard beats, it's over with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, but it's
that
like,
ain't
nah, it's not it. Like there's more steps to it, because God ain't gonna let
Yeah.
you go on a platform and mess around mess his name up.
Bruh.
Facts.
Just like
Facts.
how if he ain't let the Israelites in because they was wilding out and they have faith, how he gonna let you in? If you not doing what you gotta do and you being diligent with your stuff, you gonna go back into the forest. You know what I'm saying? The importance too of like what Avila, what Dara, what Blaine has been saying, bro. Get around people who are hungry. If you are not around dogs, people who are just like hungry and just want to get it,
Yeah.
then like you're gonna hit a point. And I promise you're gonna hit a point where it's just like, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore.
Mhm.
Because you don't have a community of people who are trying to constantly elevate, go after those new ideas, those
Mhm.
that new sound, whatever that is. Like
Mhm.
I got homies now, like who I'm like, and it's something that I'm learning. Like I got homies now, like Avila, Dara, Blaine. Me and Blaine started working not too long ago. So that's like being around people like that who are just, and Opto. I'm sorry, Opto. Me and Opto work.
I'll be forgetting I'm a producer sometimes.
Literally, me and Opto, the first email he sent me, we got a song placed. It was crazy.
Mhm.
Anyways, the people who you hang around are gonna that's gonna be your trajectory for your life. So if you're around hungry people who are determined, who know their calling, who stand on their calling, who stand on the word of God, who continually try to push you, who continually try to get, you know what I'm saying, get everything out of you,
Mhm.
you're going to succeed. You're going to succeed because you are around hungry people. So that's a big thing that I would just say is like, stay around hungry people, because eventually you're going to be like, am I working enough? And it's like, and it's not in a way of like, I'm better, but it's like, dang, bro, like, am I making enough? Like, am I challenging myself enough? And I think that's a huge thing, bro. So definitely, like, the biggest thing I would say is like, get around hungry people. Because if you around hungry people, you're gonna continue to like to strive to like be better, get better, figure out how I can do that in what ways. Like that's and once you get around hungry people, it's gonna become a mentality for you.
Yeah, there's like nothing better than seeing your homies win, for real.
Facts,
It's like,
bro.
because you all know how hard you work. Everybody knows how hard each other work. So anytime anybody wins, you're like, bro, you deserve that. Like,
Facts.
let's go.
Celebrating others is definitely a huge thing that needs to be valued a lot more, because it's like yeah, it's just that's how you preserve a community, bro. That's how you preserve the art. It's like, yo, let's celebrate each other. It's like we're all on the same team. Like that's the thing, is like, it's not a 1-for-1, like it's literally all for one. Like
I gotta mention one more thing. Producers that are upcoming, serve at a church. serve at a church. Literally, do the sound at a church. Guess what? It will bring a whole new perspective to your journey. Literally, serve at a church. It helps big time.
If you're a believer and you're of the faith and you're trying to follow Jesus while you're trying to pursue your like this creative pursuit, definitely being plugged into a church, being plugged into just serving, doing community service, just doing something that like allows you to like pour into others outside of your craft.
Yeah.
One, like that's definitely where God meets you at, like
Mhm.
probably the most.
Yeah.
Is literally when you're at your like at your lowest, or not even at your lowest, but just like
Humbling yourself.
yeah, yeah. Like
Ooh.
like in humility, God's gonna like definitely like elevate you in your humility, and he's gonna freaking value the heck out of that.
Do it wholeheartedly too.
Mhm.
Do it wholehearted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And do it with gladness. You know what I mean? As we
Mhm.
serve, as we all
Yeah.
serve. That's the beauty of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, like it's very factual that like, and it, correct me if I'm wrong, please correct me. Like if I'm wrong, please correct me. But I believe that your heart posture is where your position will be. So like if your heart posture is I'm not going to serve, but I want to be served, then
Mhm.
you're gonna reap what you sow. But if you're gonna serve and be a servant, serve you, because at the end of the day, when we get to heaven, we are going to serve and be served.
Mhm.
So your heart posture is gonna dictate your position. So if I'm wrong, let me know. But that's how I feel about it.
No, that's good.
You can
That's
take
true.
that however you want to take that.
See, I actually love everything you guys were saying. Like, this, like, your work and your work ethic might get your foot in the door, but it's your character that helps you stay in the house, and it's that really, and then that character is built on, being humble and not letting pride take over, like serving others, and not feeling like anything is too little or too small for you. It's all about being humble. Also, like, you should know your worth, but then again, you should have the spirit of servanthood, and like trying to like go the extra mile, trying to do whatever you can in order to succeed in that area God has positioned you in. And that's very important for up and coming producers, right? And that's what producers like, the producers here and legends, they have been doing this and they've been saying this. And so producers need to really take that in and learn from it and grow on that. So thank you guys for tuning in to episode 1 of Producer Table Talk. From Rapzilla. Special shout out to these guys who came in, follow them on Instagram, they're dope producers, dope creators. Avila, DaraJT, Boskie, Blaine Stephens, my guys, my dudes, bro. These guys are amazing at what they do, and they honor God in what they do, and I love that about them. And so stay tuned. Let me know if you guys want to see more of this. You want me to make this a series? It's my first episode, so I'm gonna try and make this as as entertaining and as informative and not as good as I can. So appreciate everyone for tuning in. Signing out to me, your boy Opto, Opto Music. Peace.
Gang gang.